Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is Mehdi. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at 15 the most potent, strong, long-lasting, and beast mode fragrances in my collection. We are not going to talk about 12 hours plus type of fragrances, above 14 hours plus. Without any further ado, from House of Amouage, Reflection Man 45. It is a resiny, deep, mysterious, complex, and floral fragrance with touch of powderiness at the background. In terms of performance, lasts solid 14 hours plus on my skin, and projection and sillage is there for 3-4 hours, but not that loud. In terms of projection and sillage, projects like average and soft, but gets the job done definitely. At number 14, from House of Profumum, Roma Batito Dali. Another great floral fragrance. It smells very unique. I haven't smelled anything like this. It is like floral, let's say, to this one, like orange blossom. Also some sort of orangey soft vibe at the background, orange itself and orange blossom. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I get some sort of pistachio vibe from this fragrance. It's like pistachio, orange blossom, orange, and very little powdery. Smells very unique and unisex. Lasts only like 14 hours plus. In terms of longevity, projection and sillage is very loud. One of those fragrances that can easily give you headaches, and I prefer it for spring. At number 13, again by Amouage, Lyric Man. One of the most unique rose-based fragrances. You know, when it comes to the rose fragrances, they are not that unique, but here we have a different type of take on rose, let's say, because it is citrusy and incensey without being woody and saffrony. I like that citruses, and slightly it is like body lotion. So let's say to this one, body lotiony, rosy, citrusy with touch of incense at the background. Roses here a little bit jammy and mature. Lasts only like 14 to 15 hours plus. In terms of longevity, projection and sillage is loud for first 3 hours. At number 12, Erba Pura from House of Zerjaf, one of the top sellers from this house and a pretty well-known fragrance. I have to say it is a very strong, artificial, synthetic, fruity fragrance, not citrusy. I would say to this one like stone fruity, ambroxany, and extremely sweet fragrance. Lasts on me 15 to 16 hours plus in terms of longevity, and 3-4 hours great projection and sillage. I prefer it for, let's say, except summer, for all seasons, and it is not that too dressed up. Number 11, from House of Montserrat, Instant Crush. Another loud and unisex, or let's say feminine leaning floral fragrance. Jasmine, rose. It is powdery, extremely sweet, and sweetness is here like candy floss. You get that Baccarat Rouge-ish candy flossy vibe at the background of the fragrance, and lasts only like 14 to 16 hours plus. In terms of longevity and projection and sillages, man, it is like nuclear for first 3-4 hours. I would prefer it for, let's say, except summer, all summer round, especially shines great and gets better compliments, let's say, in the spring. Now we're at top 10. We are going fast. Oud for Greatness from House of Initio. Yes, Oud for Greatness. Oud is definitely here, but I like it. It is not animalic and it is very unique. It is plasticky somehow. Fragrance is synthetic, nothing that much natural here. It is very concentrated and dense, and sweetness is also available here. Bitter, sweet at the same time, and yeah, again, that candy flossy vibe is available. It is like mixture of Tom Ford Oud Wood plus Baccarat Rouge together. Did some added twist, let's say, to this one. Lasts only solid 16 hours plus in terms of longevity, and 3-4 hours. Very loud projection and sillage. Definitely a fall and winter fragrance. At number 9, Oud Lemon Mint, again by Montserrat. Lemon is not that much available here. It is floral. Mint is wixy and cooling, refreshing. You feel it. That's refreshing vibe of mint in a wixy way, let's say, very oily. And oud at the background of the fragrance, and especially at the dry down, gets more oody and smoky. I can get like 16 hours plus longevity with this one. Oh, it's beautiful. Projection and sillage is very loud, guys. Just like 3-4 hours, and 2 sprays more than enough with this one. I would say except summer, it's also around type of fragrance. Number 8, Ganymede by Marc-Antoine Barrault. Absolutely a niche fragrance. Smells very rare, unusual, outstanding, and different. I haven't smelled anything like this, and I don't have any fragrance close to this one, I have to say, in my collection. At the first sniff, you can get a very raw, suede vibe, which is like brand new sneakers, let's say, to this one. Yeah, it is very unusual. Salty and metallic with touch of citruses at the betweens, let's say. So this one is a crazy fragrance, lasts like 16 to 18 hours plus, solid on the skin, and projection sillage is like nuclear for 3-4 hours. Number 7, again from House of Montserrat. When it comes to the beast mode fragrances, we cannot ignore this house. Red Tobacco. It is a very potent, dirty and animalic fragrance, waxy, resiny and dark fragrance at the opening, and has some sort of, I can say, fruity feel at the top, which is, I can say, almost lost between those dirty notes. But at the dry down, it is much more adorable and gets better reactions, I have to say. Just this fragrance is about dry down, gets smoother, and vanilla shines better at the dry down and gives you a very soft, smoky feel, and it is not that much in that medicinal and dirty territory. I don't mean that it is safe at the dry down, not at all a safe fragrance. It is safer compared to the opening. I can get 16 to 18 hours plus solid longevity with this one, and 3-4 hours extremely loud projection and sillage. Definitely a winter fragrance. At number 6, Oud Cafe from House of Montserrat. One of my most favorites from this house, and I really enjoy scent profile of this fragrance. Smells very simple, like you can get 3 notes, or at least I can get 3 notes here, like peach, then coffee and oud. So peach is there to give to fragrance a balance between those dirty notes, but it is not that much available at the dry down of the fragrance. At the dry down, it is all about coffee and oud. Oud is smoky, not that much animalic, but not also that much safe type of oud. It is not a wearable type of oud. It is strong and extremely smoky and burnt. And coffee is very bitter, Arabica roasted type of coffee, not usual type of coffee, I have to say. It is a very smoky fragrance. You can get smoky feel from coffee also because it is roasted and almost burnt, and for sure from oud. Lasts only like 18 hours plus in terms of longevity, 18 to 20 hours plus, I have to say. Very solid longevity and 3-4 hours nuclear projection and sillage. Definitely a winter fragrance. At number 5, we have here a designer fragrance, Aramis. It is one of those rare EDT concentrated designer fragrances that can easily compete with those high-end, highly concentrated, expensive niche fragrances in terms of performance. It is a pretty well-known fragrance. For those who haven't smelled this one, I have to say it is a very potent, strong, green, barbershoppy fragrance with touch of spices at the background, and has some sort of leathery feel at the background. And Artemisia is here much more prominent compared to other green notes or compared to other notes, which is a bit off-putting, I have to say. Not for everybody, but I really like it. And it is somehow at the background very little soapy. It is definitely a mature and bossy fragrance, has that weight and age factor to it, like 35 plus type of fragrance. Lasts on me 20 to 24 hours plus, like this, in terms of longevity. And projection and sillage is crazy for first 3-4 hours. At number 4, another great high quality designer fragrance from House of Dior, Dior Homme Parfum. So at the first sniff from Atomizer, I have to say, if you haven't smelled this one, smells like those scented rubbers. If you have smelled them in your childhood, exactly gives me that vibe, like scented rubbers. And my skin is more powdery and leathery, has ton of iris and leather, and at the betweens I can get some sort of rose and oud, saffron, but much more prominent notes are here, iris and leather. It is also a little bit powdery, especially at the opening, but at the dry down, I have to say, leather gets the control in the hand. It is more about leather and oud, rose, saffron. At the dry down, we don't have that much powderiness, especially compared to the Dior Homme Intense or other Dior Homme versions. Lasts only 24 hours plus in terms of longevity, and projection and sillage is out of this world for first 3-4 hours. At number 3, Kutai by Unique Luxury. Such a crazy fragrance. It's all about whiskey, oud, tobacco, and definitely I get floral, like jasmine plus rose, which is not mentioned in the note breakdown of the fragrance, but I get it. It is here definitely. So this fragrance is all about whiskey and tobacco at the opening, at the first 2 hours, which reminds me of Tom Ford Tobacco Oud. It smells raw and animalic like that fragrance. After that goes to oud lemon mint territory, like floral oudy. I really would like to get that raw and realistic animalic whiskey note at the dry down of the fragrance, but after 2 hours, 3 hours mark, I cannot get that much whiskey in this fragrance because it is 26 hours plus lasting type of fragrance. I would like to have that whiskey longer on my skin, but it is okay also. After like 3-4 hours gets like oud, lemon, minty type of fragrance, floral, sweet, oudi. And at the dry down gets like after 4-5 hours gets like black Afghano, very oudi and raw, smoky slightly type of fragrance. Lasts on me like 26 hours plus in terms of longevity. For 5 hours, very animalic and loud, extremely screaming type of projection and sillage, and after 5 hours gets above average. Number 2, what should I say about this fragrance? Black to Black from House of Mansoura. One of the most animalic smelling rose-based fragrances I've ever smelled in entire my life, let's say. To this one, oof, burns my nose. This is like jammy rose, ton of saffron. Look at this coloring. Oh my goodness. Ton of saffron, leather, and very little oud. It is more about leather, saffron, and rose. Oud is here like a twist or a subnote, let's say. To this one, it's not that much heavy in that side. Lasts forever. What should I say? 2-3 days on the skin with, yeah, forever projection and sillage. Number 1, I'm sure you already guessed it through, from House of Amouage, Interlude Man, smoke bomb in a bottle. All kind of dirty, skanky, daring stuff in the world, in the history of the perfumery, I have to say, are in one bottle here. This is like very daring, dark, smoky, peppery, resiny, spicy, and mysterious, and very little I can catch sweetness at the background of the fragrance, but it is like 95% about those smoky, daring, dirty, and daring notes. It is definitely not a blind buy worthy fragrance. I have it for my personal enjoyment, and one of the most negative comment getting fragrances in entire my life, I have to say. I don't want to talk about performance, guys. Take care. Yeah.